Asalam-o-Alikum. In macroeconomics class, we will discuss inflation and how does inflation work. Inflation. So first of all, we discuss the basic definition of inflation. That what is inflation basically? Inflation is a rise in price, which can be translated as the decline of purchasing power over time. The rate at which purchasing power drop can be reflected in the average price increase of a basket of selected goods and services over some time. So basically, inflation was firstly defined by new classical economists. It is a long term process, it is persistent. And Keynes emphasized that demand is a cause of inflation. He ignored the cost side of inflation. And the other economist, Milton Friedman, famously said, inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon, in the sense that it is and it can be produced only by a more rapid increase in the quantity of money than in output. Demand pull inflation when aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply. दिस इज डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन जब डिमांड ज़्यादा हो तो ऑटोमेटिकली जो प्राइसेस है इकोनॉमी में वो इंक्रीज हो जाते हैं तो वो हमारे पास आ जाता है डिमांड पुल इन्फ्लेशन में कॉस्ट पुश इन्फ्लेशन वेज पुश और प्रॉफिट पुश इन्फ्लेशन जब ट्रेड यूनियन जो है वो प्रेशराइज करे एम्प्लॉयर को और एम्प्लॉयर जो है वो एम्प्लॉइज की वेजेस को इंक्रीज करे एट दैट टाइम वेजेस को इंक्रीज करे वेजेस को इंक्रीज करे और जो एम्प्लॉय है वो वेजेस के इंक्रीज होने से उनके वेजेस इंक्रीज होने से कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन जो है वो इंक्रीज हो जाती है अब कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज हो तो वो थ्रू प्राइसेस के इंक्रीज होने से उसको स्टेबल कर लेते हैं सो दिस इज व्हाट द कॉस्ट पुश इन्फ्लेशन इज नेक्स्ट वन इज द प्रॉफिट पुश इन्फ्लेशन प्रॉफिट पुश इन्फ्लेशन में क्या होता है कि जो एम्प्लॉयर है वो क्या करते हैं अपना प्रॉफिट के जो मार्जिन है उनको इंक्रीज कर देते हैं उनको इंक्रीज करने से जो प्रॉफिट है वो इंक्रीज हो जाता है सो दिस इज व्हाट द प्रॉफिट पुश इन्फ्लेशन इज एम्प्लॉयर अपने प्रॉफिट के मार्जिन को बढ़ा देते हैं इन द प्रॉफिट पुश इन्फ्लेशन द नेक्स्ट वन इज suppressed inflation when government restrict the inflation or control the inflation in the economy is called suppressed inflation. The next one is stagflation. Unemployment plus inflation is known as stagflation. Inflation tax decline in purchasing power of money due to inflation is called inflation tax. जब मनी ज़्यादा हो इकोनॉमी में तो इनडायरेक्टली कंज्यूमर के ऊपर एक टैक्स को इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया जाता है ताकि मनी जो है वो गवर्नमेंट के पास वापस चली जाए सो ये इन्फ्लेशन टैक्स के थ्रू ही करते हैं सो दिस इज व्हाट the inflation tax is when the decline in the purchasing power of money due to the revenue raised through the printing of money is called seigniorage. जब इकोनॉमी में मनी जो है वो ज़्यादा प्रिंट की जाए तो वो हमारे पास आ जाता है seigniorage उसको हम seigniorage के नाम से जानते हैं नेक्स्ट वन इज प्रिंटिंग ऑफ मनी to raise revenue is therefore like imposing a tax which is called inflation tax. The trade-off between inflation and unemployment is called Phillips curve. Headline inflation considers the price of all goods and services, including commodities. And core inflation considers the price of all goods and services except commodity prices. Example of vegetable, fruit, fuel items, because these are those commodities which are flexible or increase. There is increase or decrease. There is increase or decrease in their prices. So this is those commodities which are not included in the core inflation. Too much money chasing after too few goods is related to demand pull inflation. Wholesale price index is published by Office of Economic Advisor or Ministry of Commerce and Industry. CPI, Consumer Price Index. It is published by Central Statistics Office, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Under inflation, debtors are gainer and creditor are loser. What does it mean? Those who invest their capital in government security debentures, bonds, etc. are losers, and those who invest their capital in share of joint stock companies are gainers. Next one is reserve ratio, the percentage of demand and time liabilities that bank have to keep with RBI is called cash reserve ratio. The buying and selling of treasury bills, government and other security with RBI is called open market operation. Purchasing power of money fall when price level rises. Increasing unemployment and inflation is a situation of stagflation. When inflation is in the double or triple digit, we call that galloping inflation. Cost pull inflation is a type of inflation developed when supply cost increases. And the last one is demand pull inflation is caused by increasing money expenditure. In the next class, we will discuss about the Phillips curve.